best we know, we have about 2 to 3 feet worth of damage. This is very overwhelming. Had an outpouring of help from the community. They're in our house today, taking out drywall and things like that. They removed carpet, just things that we couldn't even imagine of trying to have enough people to do. People like us, we don't know what to do. We're lost because there is so much need you can't even imagine.
When the water first hit, I grabbed my raft, a couple life jackets, and headed to the office. But I didn't get far. I was trapped in my house like everybody else, so I worked from home. We were answering calls about the disaster 24/7, and I never stepped away. I slept an hour or two here or there, and my wife would bring me food now and again, but it would just get cold beside me. I was trying to do it by myself. I thought I could, but I was wrong. I didn't know how long it took to fight a storm. I didn't know how much work needed to be done, or how hard it would hit South Carolina. I never even saw what it looked like until it was all over. I never turned on the news. But I could feel it. The fear, the pain, the resilience, the outpouring of love. I saw the disaster through a father's eyes, a mother's, a child's, through the eyes of somebody that had nobody else to turn to. I saw the storm in a new way, and not just our storm, but the storms around the world. I saw how they can tear communities apart, and how communities can rise above the storm. Storms that roll in through the ocean, and storms that roar through the streets.
You are in the streets, blocking the roadway. You are unlawfully assembled. You need to disperse immediately, or you will be subject to arrest. Do it now.
The McDonald's, the window is broken into again. We saw a couple other stores broken into and looted.
Tear gas has been thrown, water bottles we witnessed being thrown at police.
Tear gas. Tear gas. This tear gas just dropped right near us. It's going to get very bad here if we don't have masks. They're throwing it back. There are a lot of beanbags being shown at tear gas.
What you're looking at is the aftermath of the grand jury deciding not to indict Officer Wilson.
That's one police cruiser that is fully engulfed right now. And then if you just turn to your right, our photographer, Stike DeMoss, is going to get you the other cruiser. That one is almost finished burning.
We don't get it! And we don't get it! It was mayhem. We saw these buildings catch on fire. This was a beauty supply store. And we watched it just burn to the ground.
The AutoZone is on fire. This is the third building within 2 blocks, and it is, destroyed. The building is basically collapsed. You can hear the explosions going on inside there from whatever is inside, whether it's... Sorry, I just got hit by a rock. I've been hit with much worse in my day. You're seeing the Tidal Max just up the street, right across, and that's another fire. And you're hearing the explosions from inside of some of those places.
Just to give you context, I don't want you to give you the sense that the entire city of Ferguson, that there's chaos, lots of areas are calm, people are inside, and that is really what we have been witnessing.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Not tear gas this time, just smoke. But to see another building here now on fire, to look over to my left to see some others that have been looted.
This is the New York Grill, another business here. They've broken into...
Right now I'm standing out beside the McDonald's and people are throwing stuff at me right now. People are throwing stuff at me right now. It's that kind of scene out here right now.
Police still using tear gas, still moving through the area. It's heartbreaking. The Brown family, the governor, the president, all speaking about nonviolence and about peace.
No justice! No justice! No peace!
The day Katrina hit, gust winds was raging like crazy. Next day, the water started rising, nowhere from out the blue. My daughter, she was only 2 years old at the time. I was trying to hold her real tight. We was waving flags and stuff, trying to catch the helicopter's attention, and they would just pass us by. One helicopter threw us water, the next helicopter came, picked the children up, said they was coming back in 25 minutes. They never came back until like 6 hours later. I knew that my baby was missing. Where is she? How am I gonna find her? Is she okay? I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I just had to stand there and just stare at the walls, just picturing her face in my mind. I know she was frightened. She wouldn't talk to anybody. 4 days later, I get a phone call. I didn't even give the plane enough time to land. I ran to it and I said, Gabby. She looked at me and she said, Mama. And she grabbed me and hugged me around my neck so tight and I started crying. And I was just like, my baby. I couldn't deal with it because she missed me so much. Excuse me. The first thing she did not let me go. She did not let me go. She held me so tight for days.
Katrina stays on my mind. It's like she there when I wake up, go to sleep, all through the day.
I'm told that the New Orleans police put out a call to all its officers saying, if you have a boat, bring it here, help us. These are people who did not have the wherewithal to get out of town. They didn't have cars. There's no way they could pay for a hotel room. They stayed in their houses because they had to. And then the water came up. This is life and death. This is life and death. There's just no doubt about it.
After my daddy died, I really felt like I just don't have nothing to live for. Like, that was all I had. And now since he gone, I don't need to be here. But like, if I didn't have my kids like on a daily basis, I'll be trying to figure out like how to kill myself or something.
Being in the Superdome, you know, there was a lot of rape, you know, there was a lot of killing. I was only 14 and I had to be a man.
I was more concerned about my baby cousin because she had heart issues, and everybody just started running, and they really almost like ran over our cousin, like trampled over her.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move.
I just want everybody to be prepared for what's gonna happen, because it's gonna happen again. Believe me, it is.
Here in this country, the deadly tornadoes, round after round of storms, have brought 218 of them since Sunday. The overall death toll now stands at 143. Nearly all of those deaths were in the city of Joplin, Missouri. Ben, good evening.
Good evening, Harry. You know, it's been about 4 days now since the tornado basically turned this town upside down. And as you mentioned, those missing people, the search for them is getting increasingly desperate. As you can see, the wreckage here stretches for miles, and while some families are still looking through it, others now have a reason to stop.
For more than 3 days, Michelle Hare has been searching for something she cannot replace. Her 16-year-old son, Lance, tossed in this car during the tornado.
His backpack was still inside of it.
When we talked to her this morning, Michelle was still positive.
Now, do you still have hope?
I obviously I have to.
But just minutes after our interview, a police officer arrived.
What happened?
I have gotten a visit from the Joplin Police Department notifying me that my son has been identified.
He's dead.
Yes, correct. But it is in some way a comfort to at least know that he's in a better place and that we don't have to wonder if he's out there needing us.
And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again.
knew that it was going to rain, so we had just kind of parked right outside of, well, right about here actually, right outside of the garage, just to where it was covered by the overhang. And everything was done. Us girls were in the kitchen doing the baked beans and the green beans and just the extra stuff, and just as soon as everything was done was when that second siren went off. The entire day, I didn't think anything of it. Took it completely lightly. I mean, this happens all the time. We always get warnings, or they're saying a tornado is going to come in, or it actually does, but it just never hits your home, so you don't really take anything too seriously. Even when I was putting blankets and pillows in the bathroom, I didn't take it seriously. I just thought, this is what I grew up doing, you know, this is what my mom did every time there was a warning, so I might as well do it too. I have to protect my daughter just in case. And literally when that second one went off, I was like, thank you God that I had packed this bathroom. You could hear the train noise that everyone talks about, but then right after that is when you could feel the house trying to lift, and then our tub, after 2 yanks, we flipped over and started flying. And there was 6 of us, including our 19-month-old daughter, in the tub, and we just held on for dear life. Sean and Ryan were on top, and basically everybody had a hand over our daughter, just trying to protect her, and she was the only one who walked out without a scratch. That's what we've been talking about all day, because they're calling for more tornadoes tonight. And so, I mean, not having a home to go to, not that this was the best place to be because we didn't have a basement, but we've got several people who have offered us places to stay, and a lot of people have basements, but some of them are walkout, and it's just you find yourself being so picky about where we're going to go tonight, because I can't do it again. It was too much. It's a miracle. It's God alone that we're alive.
The storm was passing fine. You know, we were like glad everything was going fine. There was no flooding here, no nothing. And then next thing you know, I see like water just coming in like a tidal wave. It must have been like a good 3 feet of water in here. And I was crying. All I kept doing is asking God to have mercy. To me, I put on Facebook that God's sending saints our way, because a lot of people are lending us cars, bringing in food, helping us clean up, and that's a blessing in itself.
The silence is quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again.
Weatherman comes up and says, oh, there's going to be rain, torrential rains, or my son would go into a panic. You know, not again, not again. That continued for a while, and he had the nightmares. You know, my daughter as well. This morning it was raining. She was in a panic. She didn't want to go. She didn't want to leave. She didn't want to go to camp. It's raining. When is it going to stop? Is it going to stop?
For my son, it messed up a lot. He wasn't able to play like he used to. He wasn't able to go to the park. He wasn't able to see the people he saw on a daily basis. It stopped him from talking. It stopped him from wanting to feed himself, wanting to play. He just pretty much stayed immobilized.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, like a diamond in the sky. My name's Aria, and I am 4.
Really didn't think the weather was going to get bad. On Sunday, the sirens went off 3 times. Nothing really happened. We got some rain.
My husband and I had been in touch several times throughout the day. He said, I'm watching, and there's nothing out there.
It was a little after 2 when the first sirens went off, and I'm like, all right, let's take our precautions. We're going to go ahead and get in the bathrooms.
All of a sudden, He looked and it was there.
Phones were ringing like crazy.
I said, hey, Kathy, we can't make it to you. Nathan's already had to take shelter. You are going to have Aria.
The news people are saying, if you're not underground, you will not survive.
Hear it getting closer and closer.
Just waiting for that moment. It was tearing up 7-Eleven across the street. This is it. It's here. It is on us. I mean, we're taking it. Hold your kids down, you know, do what we gotta do, you know, save your children.
More medical center, direct hit. I said, that's my daughter's daycare.
The roof just peeled back. I can see the whole tornado, the debris, everything flying through the air. You hear metal on metal, you hear...
Suction was sucking the water out of the toilet.
Started pulling her up.
Hold my leg.
She said, don't let me go, don't let me go.
Started trying to prepare myself for every different scenario.
She's screaming, you know, and I was like, I'm not letting you go. You go, I go with you. And I'm like, and we're taking the toilet with us.
What color was she wearing? What color was she wearing? If I have to start digging, what color am I looking?
I held on that little girl's legs so tight that my fingers are white. Did that really just happen?
It was 2 hours before I knew if she was even alive.
My emotions towards the tornado, it was really weird. I didn't feel anything. It was just a dull pain.
He spends a lot of time in the house. His grades are not doing so well.
It just feels like, what are you working for?
If someone starts talking about the tornado or what they've experienced, I just have a bunch of like flashbacks.
That's how this kind of panic anxiety works with this trauma, is that you can feel fine and then see something or somebody say a word and then all of a sudden you're back.
What did you say about your youngest sister?
We haven't found her yet.
If she doesn't get counseling, she will be stuck emotionally and mentally at 9 years old with a tragedy.
They say time heals all wounds, but I don't think that's true in certain cases. Nobody teaches you like, oh, if such and such happened and this happens, this how you go on with your life.
It's hugely important that they have many outlets to go to find help and resources walking through these things.
With the right support, kids can get through anything really with the right support.
I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up. I'll
It takes a lot to survive a storm. It takes an entire community. When everything you know gets swept away, 211 is still here. We're here to help. We are invested in this community because we are a part of this community. We are your friends, your neighbors, and the girl sitting across from you on the train. We are San Diego when the wildfires burn, South Carolina when the floods pour, Oklahoma, Joplin when the tornadoes strike. We don't come down to your community when a disaster strikes. We rise from the ashes, just like you, and we never go away. We are here to make communities whole again, because that's what makes us whole again. It's our job, our mission, our passion. It's what we are built for any disaster, for your disaster, for you.
I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again.